What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Post-Phase-In Cheesesteaks. In this episode, we're going to talk about the top 10 tight ends heading into the 2020 season. So without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, it's funny, like tight ends and receivers are like the opposite. There's like, I made wrote down like 20 of the best receivers, and then like from there I took it to top 10, and then from there ranked them.
Yeah.
But tight ends was like, I was like really fishing. I was like, I don't even know. I don't have like anyone outside top 5.
No, I agree.
It's rough.
I have, I'm not going to lie, I might have like a backup as number 10, but we'll get to it.
I might have a backup a little higher than 10. So,
all right, we'll see about that. I was going to say I was biased for that, but, we'll see how it goes.
There were a couple players that I had, and then I looked back at their stats, and I was just like, these just – like they're just like there because of name. Like their stats really aren't that impressive. So.
Oh, yeah, I know. There's a couple. Yeah, you know what? I had a much bigger list of like I just listed a whole bunch and then just eliminated them as I went. So to get this party started, number 10, as I was telling you. So I have one team in each the tight end and wide receiver to have 2 representatives in each one. This being one of those. So I went with Goddard. I went with Dallas Goddard, backup guy.
Number 10. It's a solid choice.
Although I thought I was being a homer, but I had a feeling you probably from
I have him on my list. Let me double check. So I had Tyler Higbee at number 10 from the Rams.
Tyler Higbee. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It was tough to.
I was thinking about it. Numbers were better than I thought, but it's just like I don't know. I don't think it's Tyler Higbee. I've never heard of him. I don't think he's that great.
Yeah.
The Rams really didn't do much last year anyway. There could have been a lot of garbage time, receptions.
Yeah, I think I thought the same way. And then I kind of – let me see. His season – he didn't have a bad season. Hold on. I mean, he was – let's see. He's played 4 years.
I mean, he had 69 catches, 734 yards, and 3 touchdowns last year. But the Rams' overall offense, I think, just stunk. I think he was in some garbage time games, And
well, so I was deciding between him and Delaney Walker.
I don't have a Delaney Walker in my top.
Yeah, I mean, I used to love Delaney Walker, but he's just been hurt and not that productive lately. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much more to say about Tyler Higbee. He had a decent year. I just was looking for tight ends, but so at number 9, I had Dallas Goddard, and I didn't want to put him on the list because I didn't want to.
No, he definitely deserves to be on the list. Looking at all these tight ends, he's better than Tyler Higbee. I don't care if he's a backup.
That's why I had him at 9. I was like, I can't put him on the list. There's no way I can have a backup tight end. And I just think he's better than all of them.
I put at 9. I put Hunter Henry, and he was the one I was like tossing. I was like, I don't know if he's really better than Dallas Goddard, but I'll give it to him because he also had pretty much similar numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He had 652 yards and 5 touchdowns. Where Goddard had, 607 and 5 touchdowns, but he also did in 12 games.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
Goddard did it sharing the same field as Ertz, but at the same time, all the wide receivers were crippled, so he was still our number 2 option most of the times.
Yeah, the thing with tight ends though is like you can't look at their numbers as like wide receiver stats. So like 600, 700 yards is like good for a tight end, I guess. But I was looking back at like Hunter Henry's career, and I feel like I just know him by name of like top guy, next Antonio Gates, and then he never couldn't stay healthy.
And you know how they always say like before the season there's always like the sleepers and the risers, the people that are coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's been like Hunter Henry somehow has been on that team I think 3 years in a row now.
Yeah.
We're just waiting. I gave it to him off name, but
I had him written down, and then I looked at the rest of the players on my list, and I was like, he's not as good as these guys. And I like Hunter Henry. I think he has the potential to be really good, but I just haven't seen it.
I was thinking about switching with him and Goddard, but I gave him the nod because Goddard is still a backup. So, yeah. But,
8, I had the new guy, Darren Waller from Oakland.
Oh, really?
You have
Okay,
him higher?
I do.
Yeah. See, I
What a
I
big
thought about
year.
the, huh?
He had a pretty solid year there. He like
Yeah,
balled out
one
this year.
one year. I wanted to pump the brakes a little. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean, but you saw who hasn't seen Hard Knocks? The guy's been, he was doing his thing, partying, living the life. Now he's dedicated. Now he's on the up and up. He was on the Ravens and was like partying all the time and drunk constantly.
he went from he went from 18 yards his first year with Baltimore, then
Yeah, pretty
85
much.
yards, then 75, and then 1,145.
But he was like, because you got to watch Hard Knocks for their season. It was pretty good. You had the whole Antonio Brown thing, which made it a must see TV.
Oh,
Uh,
he was the one that fought. But
yeah, but
he had
yeah,
90
Darren.
catches too. Damn.
It's on media, like almost 1,200 yards.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why I have him where he is though, because I feel
Yeah, that's
like
fair. No, that's
if he
fair.
if he did it again this year, easily push him way up this list.
All right, fair enough.
So,
For 8, I went with the veteran of my group. Actually, I went with Jared Cook.
ah,
Jared Cook is surprisingly, like, you look at his numbers and stuff and where he ranks like statistically in a career with tight ends. He's in the conversation like in everything for like a top 15 kind of thing. But he's still playing, and he had 9 touchdowns last year. So
yeah, he started out
that's always a good start.
slow. Because I remember he was hurt. I had him on my fantasy team this past year, and I was like, "Oh, Jared Cook and Drew Brees, oh, it's amazing." And then he was hurt like half the year, and then
Man,
I
he's
mean,
still
he must have been hobbled. He did play 14 games, it looks like, but
yeah,
I just
700
remember him
yards,
being
9 touchdowns.
so yeah. But like
Something
yeah, his
like
numbers
that.
are pretty high. So
Although I'll say I think Cook, Henry, and Goddard were on one tier. The next tier up I have at 5, 6, and 7, and then there's like the elite 4, which I'm sure we have the same one. Number 7, I went with the new guy. I went with Lamar's favorite toy, Mark Andrews.
oh
Now, see, I'm excited for Mark Andrews, and I think the Ravens, as they always do, they drafted very smart. That year,
mhm.
they went with him. They got him in the 3rd round, and then you went Hayden Hurst in the 1st round. Who was the better of the two? Mark Andrews can catch much better. I don't think
Oh
Hayden Hurst is terrible. I would not have given them a 2nd-round pick for Hayden Hurst, but
yeah.
that's what they managed to do. Basically, keep the 3rd-round guy, flip your 1st-round pick for a 2nd-rounder 2 years from then. But I mean, he helps in the run game. He's a good outlet for Lamar. I still think they need more weapons around him because I don't think he's a number 1 like offensive passing weapon.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, he had a good year.
No, I have him a little higher on this list.
I mean,
But
anytime you had 815, 52, and 10 touchdowns, that's pretty good with an
yeah,
MVP quarterback.
yeah, I think I mean, I didn't put Darren Waller that high because of only 1 year. But I just look at Andrews and I'm thinking like, he had 50 catches and 500 yards, or he had 34 catches and 500 yards the year before, and then this past season he had double that, and then had double the yards. So
I mean, he's a young guy,
and
second year
10
in the league.
touchdowns, like that's
Yeah. Well, the offense did explode. You got an MVP at quarterback, so that kind of helps everything.
true. So let's see, 7. I had Austin Hooper of the
Okay.
now Cleveland Browns.
I can live with that because I have him at number 6, actually.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can live with
a friend of mine's a Falcons fan, and he was like all the end of that, like December, January. He's like, yeah. He's a priority. They're gonna sign him. Austin Hooper signs with the Cleveland Browns. Like, they already
I
have
mean,
Njoku, and
to be fair, they went and spent a lot of money on Austin Hooper. They gave money to Austin Hooper that like I would give like 3 or 4 tight ends in the league, and he's not in that list. But I
yeah,
mean,
he doesn't have
we'll
sexy
see. He's
numbers.
not
He's just
bad. Yeah, he's
consistent.
like solid. Matt Ryan's not bad quarterback though. He kind of just like dumps him off, and when they're doubling Julio Jones, he just gets open. I feel like, but we'll see. I mean, I do. The Browns are interesting this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's still young. He's still only played a couple of years. But yeah, I like what I see from him.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
still
see.
just surprised that Falcons were like, yeah, let's take Hayden Hurst instead. And I don't know.
I
They
mean,
let a lot of people go though, so
yeah,
that's
but Austin Hooper signed record money for tight end. I wasn't giving him that, or whatever money they paid him. They've given him a lot of money.
yeah. I feel like running backs and tight ends are in that same kind of bubble where it's like,
Yeah.
where is the line?
But the thing is, why do you got to go splurge on it when you have Njoku?
That's what I don't. I thought he was going to be traded after that, and they still have him. So, I mean, no
Okay,
excuses for Baker Mayfield now. You got probably
no,
the
I know.
best wide receiver duo in the league,
I
Jarvis and OBJ, and then two really good tight ends, Pro Bowl running back and Chubb. Line's a little better this year.
I mean, they got Conklin. That was a big move. And
Yeah,
Jedrick Wills.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jedrick Wills.
I mean, I thought, here's the thing. Last year, I thought that the team was good, but it was a lot of hype. I didn't really buy into the hype because I didn't think Freddie Kitchens was a very good coach. I think he was in the right spot in the right time when the Browns were doing their nonsensical Browns nonsense, when Todd Haley and Hugh Jackson are both trying to fight each other. And they both get fired. And Freddie Kitchens just like, yeah. Dude, could you imagine, like, they were so piss poorly run, they fired their head coach, then their offensive coordinator who hated each other. The interim head coach of their team became Greg Williams, the guy who started Bountygate. He was suspended for a year, and now he was the head coach of the Browns. And, like, that's how. And then you were like, I don't think we could possibly roll in with Greg Williams. He's got this whole bad history. But I guess Freddie Kitchens is the one to go with. But I don't know. I thought that was a stretch. But
I think it was just he
was
like.
I think Stefanski's smarter, and I think the Browns actually want to be better this time.
I mean, their roster is better than it was last year right now, and their roster was good last year. So
humble pie last year, which will help.
Yeah, but do you think this is a make or break year for Baker?
Yeah, if they suck again, then yeah, they're done.
Yeah,
but we'll see. Who do you have at 6?
6, I have Jared Cook. So, yeah, I thought. Yeah, I put him a little higher just because I felt like he was
like the veterans.
Yeah, I do. They're
fantasy
trusty.
Biased.
They're trusty.
Trusty.
You got to go with the steady hand, the old
that's
reliable.
Like describing a rusty wrench that you keep there. You have like 3 other new wrenches, but you're like, I just like to keep it. It's old reliable. I can
never lets you down.
With something better, but this gets the job done. I've done it before. I've been here.
All right. Well, we touched on Cook. So, what was your 5?
5 comes back to my boy Darren Waller.
Darren Waller.
I was very generous. I was very generous for a big year. Very generous.
I hope he's not a one-hit wonder. But
I think 90 receptions, 1,100 yards is pretty good.
Yeah.
Now imagine Antonio Brown around, what they could have done. I'm not the biggest Derek Carr fan. All right. Here's the thing. Now that the Khalil Mack trade's done, I'm stunned that Gruden still has Derek Carr as his quarterback. I thought in 2 different years, I thought this year and last year, when he had all the draft picks in 2 good quarterback drafts, he would have traded up to go get a new one. And he didn't do it.
I don't know. I don't know if he's still trying to because it was weird when Gruden went in, the thought was, oh, Carr's done.
Yeah.
And now he's still his quarterback, so
I don't know.
I don't know. I think Carr's a weird quarterback.
He reminds me of an Andy Dalton kind of ceiling player.
I don't know. He's just so inconsistent. Some games he's on, some games he's just really bad. And it was his rookie year. He was on fire, right? And then ever since
the 1 year then he broke his leg or whatever. But since then, he's been very average. Mm-hmm. If he has sometimes the stars line up beautifully, and he has a good game or 2. I just think it's with all the quarterbacks between this year and last year, he had all these first-round picks. He could have traded up to number 3 with the Lions, given them 3 first-round picks, and took in 2 over Herbert. Didn't do it.
Yeah, it's just funny that you think, oh, Derek Carr, he'll put good on the Carr name since his brother with the Texans was not so hot, and then here it's just literally the same player.
Yeah.
When was he drafted?
15. He's been in the league. That's why I thought Gruden would have definitely used those picks. What's the point of trading Khalil Mack and Mark Cooper if you don't do a full-on rebuild? And when you do a full-on rebuild, that means a new franchise quarterback.
Oh, he was taken in the 2nd round of the 2014 draft. Okay, so yeah, he's been here long enough that this is probably his final year, isn't it? Then.
That's what I mean. Gruden didn't draft him. I'm surprised that they didn't go after one of these quarterbacks with all that draft capital they got. Now they don't have it anymore. The Mac trade's paid out, Cooper's paid out. But we'll see. Who did you have at 5?
5, I had Mark Andrews.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
I mean, we touched on him. I think he's rising He'll be a good tight end for a couple years to come. I feel like.
Honestly, I think 5 through 10, 5 to 12, realistically, you could probably interchange. Then there's like the 4 elite guys now.
So yeah, I'm curious to see what your 4 is.
I'll let you start us off
I
for.
start off. So number 4, drum roll, the return, Rob Gronkowski.
That's what I had.
Okay, cool.
You couldn't. I was like, you can't put them. Those 3 guys played last year. You can't put them out in front of them.
That's what I was looking.
It was
I was
so
like,
disrespectful.
I was like, I don't know. I know Gronk's like lost weight, but he's like in really good like shape. He's good
I think he'll
spirits.
be okay. Yeah.
Healthy. But I have to put him on the list, even though I haven't seen him play in a year.
No, yeah, he's like, I mean, by the end of next season, he could be number 1 on this list.
That'll be interesting though, because they have 3 starter capable tight ends. Like OJ Howard and Cameron Brate could both start on most teams, I feel like.
OJ Howard reminds me of Hunter Henry. He's been on that breakout list every year and hasn't done anything. I've had him on my fantasy team like 2 years in a row.
I had him the 1 year he broke out and then hasn't done anything since.
He's done anything. I got to constantly rotate between him because he hurt or sucks. So I mean, honestly, I think they just cut him by the end of the year and Bill Belichick swoops him up in training camp.
They must want to do something with him because they could have traded him during the draft and they didn't. So
I mean, yeah, we'll see.
So this is where it gets super interesting because this is where, like, we obviously know. Well, we'll see. I don't want to say anything. So.
Well, I want 3. I want with the Homer, the boy. I want with Zach Ertz.
Interesting.
I mean, he's a stud. Don't get me wrong, but you're comparing him to the other 2. I think they had better years last year.
Fair. I had George Kittle at 3.
Oh, really? Well,
yeah.
So did you watch any of last year? Did you see him throwing people around?
Yeah.
Did you see him blocking like a Hall of Fame offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Did you see him run down the field like a gazelle? Your family member?
Uh-huh.
Did you just see him destroy cornerbacks when in the secondary when it was necessary?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Just breaking ankles and linebackers. Right,
so this is my reasoning for Kittle at or Ertz above Kittle, obviously because I haven't said Ertz's name yet.
Okay.
So that was Kittle's 3rd year in the league. Okay. And Ertz has been in the league 8 years, 7, 8 years.
Okay, sure.
So when I look at it, skill wise, I think Kittle is a better blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's coming around and he's going to be like consistently one of the top tight ends in the league. But if I needed like someone to make a play, I feel like I'd throw it at Zach Ertz instead of Kittle if they're running the same route. Like I feel like Ertz is a better receiver, but Kittle is a better blocker. But to split that tie, Ertz has had a way more consistent and successful career than Kittle. So I
mean, at that point, you're just rewarding him because he played more years. My thing with Ertz is, and I love Ertz. Ertz is the dog, and I still think he's elite. I think these are like 1A, 1B, and 1C, really. But the thing with Ertz is Kittle is so much better of a blocker. It's not even close.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would agree that Ertz is a better, route runner, pass catcher. Yeah, but it's pretty close. It's not like the blocking between them. Kittle's caught up to him, a lot. But then the other thing is Kittle, when the ball's in his hand, like he is dangerous, like running. Ertz yards after catch isn't as comparable. Kittle can you can give it to him and he's going to get it 50 yards downfield somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at it this way. So Ertz is 2013 was his rookie year at around 500 receiving yards.
Okay.
Then since 2014, he hasn't had less than 700 receiving yards. And he has the last 4 years is 4 touchdowns, 8, 8, 6, all receptions over 75, 900 yards, 1,000 yards the year before, 800, 800, 800, 700. Like that's what I mean. Like he's just been he's reliable. He's consistent. Like that's always my trend with these kind of things. It's like I don't like going on a player who like had a good year or two. Like I want someone who's proven to me that they're like, yeah, they're the guy.
The guy, here's the other thing. George Kittle has the NFL record for a tight end with yards in a season with 1377.
Ertz has the reception record.
I know, he does. But you're saying record to record. It took now in the third year, he also took he was the best offense option on that team and took him to the Super Bowl. I would say Ertz did exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the difference. Kittle is on his third year and has already done this. Like set records, caught up to Ertz in his pass catching ways. Ertz is never going to come up to Kittle's blocking skills. He won't get better. Kittle is going to keep getting better. I hear you. I have no disrespect to Ertz. He's a stud. I had him at number 3 because I just had Kittle. I thought Kittle this year just jumped up in front of him and Kelsey, to be honest with you.
Interesting. Well, so I mean, Ertz was at 2. Ertz was at 2 for me.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think. I mean, honestly, these 3, like I said, you can go either way. I put Travis Kelce at 2, but you can make the same argument that I just made for George Kittle about Travis Kelce.
I don't know. I just think I just think Kittle's
Zach Ertz has got the best hands out of those 3.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying I feel like Kittle is like the sexy name right now. So that's kind of like everyone's like, oh my God, he's the best tight end in the league. I'm like, he's really good, but I don't know if he's the best tight end in the league.
Yeah, I mean,
could be the homer in me too with Zach Ertz.
Hey, listen, 1, 2, 3, you could change them in whatever order. If
Gronk
comes down to these Gronk this year too, it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
I mean, there'll be weeks where like Ertz does nothing and Kittle had like 100 yards or Kelsey had like 15 receptions or some shit like.
Yeah. You know what's another? I was looking up. I was interested. Obviously, Zach Ertz has the record for most receptions for a tight end, 116.
Yeah.
Did you know that Christian McCaffrey has the record for most running back receptions in a year? Also 116.
Was that this past year or the year before?
This year.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah.
I love him. He's so good. He might be, when we do running backs, he might be my number 1. I'd put it out there.
Yeah. I mean, he was on my fantasy team this year.
Same.
I have no reason not to. Yeah, he was amazing.
He was the only reason.
My team wasn't so great.
No, I lost in the championship.
My team was
in the league that you didn't want to participate in this year.
Listen, I was stretched thin. I didn't do that well this year. I didn't need another team to overlook. I barely did well this year with my 2 teams.
I had it was funny because I had McCaffrey and then like Sanders. I would rotate in and out of weeks when he was doing well. And so Miles Sanders, when he slid against the Cowboys, cost me a win because I would have been touchdown. And I was like, God damn it.
That makes me so happy to know that. But so I mean, I went Ertz, Kelsey, Kittle. Obviously, I told you I Kittle's stud.
So Kelsey too, huh?
Kelsey's the most. I don't know. He just does it all. He's been there. Yeah, he's huge.
Huge.
He can. I think he can block, just not as good as Kittle, but better than Ertz. And I think he's just as dangerous in the pass game as the other 3.
I think he's better balanced than he's got a good block, good catch, but he's not
he's huge.
He's just really like Ertz is a really good like catching and route running, but Kelsey's just like super athletic.
Kelsey reminds me a lot more of Gronk.
He's more of like a
players.
huge. I mean, Ertz is more of like a huge receiver, and Kelsey's kind of the same way.
But he's also probably got the best hands in football, arguably.
I mean, but the thing with Kelsey, so I had Kittle at 3, you had Ertz at 3.
Mm-hmm.
You have Kelsey at 2. I had Ertz at 2.
Yes.
I have Kelsey at 1. You have Kittle at 1.
Yes, indeed. Interesting.
So
we didn't have a single match.
We did not.
Like I said, you can go all in any direction with.
I mean, the only thing holding Kittle back for me is the fact that he's only had realistically 2 good years. But like you look at Kelsey, like he's had 1,000 yards in 5 straight seasons. Like for a tight end, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but no, I agree. But Kittle, like I said, the only reason he hasn't done it is because he's only been in the league for 3 years. He can't hold that over his head. He's just like the other way to look at this is he's just as good as they are, but he's on the rise up. I don't think Kelsey and Ertz are going to get better from where they are in the career. I see them leveling out and like being here, or maybe it's slightly better, but I don't really see them getting better than where they're at.
You have Kittle at 1. How much better is he going to get?
Well, we're about to find out.
Oh my God.
This is he's going his 4th year in the league.
All right.